This is the X2 Pro from Wuben, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look here, shall we? Doing the honors today, we got the Braveman from CMB knives. I mean, this thing is an awesome knife, right? Very, very elegant titanium, S35VN steel. Check out the video on it if you haven't already, but make an incision right there and an incision right here. That's all we need, and slide this thing out. Here we go. Let's go ahead and open it up. Here we go. Kind of awesome. I mean, pretty cool unboxing experience, if you ask me. We got the Wuben Easy Carry Innovation card right there. There's the flashlight. We'll come back to it, or come to it in just a moment. We have a USB-C to regular USB charger right there. Bam. A Wuben lanyard, Wuben branded lanyard. I'm digging that. And it actually includes here a one of those, what did we call this? A tactical tail switch. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this. Please remove the battery insulation sheet before using it. So this is one of those that's going to have a replaceable battery that you can, over time, if it gets, poor battery life or whatever, you can actually swap a whole new battery into it. There we go. Oh man, all right, first impressions. I pictured it being a little bit bigger, but now that I'm seeing it, I'm actually glad that it is this size. This is awesome, right? There is a time and a place for a bulkier, more hardcore tactical light, and we have seen some of these in the channel, like the WARSUN X609. Check this one out if you haven't already. When it comes to ease of EDC carry, I mean, you know which one's going to be easier to EDC right off the bat. So digging the size right off the bat, we have a very nice sort of opaque gray looking on here, kind of like a tan color. Maybe not so much tan, it's like a lighter gray on the aluminum. Feels nice, cold to the touch. There's your pocket clip back here, pretty accentuated pocket clip in the back end. We have a magnet down here. I see some pins there, so that's probably where the tactical switch comes into play. Here's your locking. I'm sure this is what locks and unlocks this back switch or portion here, so you can open it. Oh, there we go. That was satisfying. So it's a clicker, and then you can lock it in place so that it doesn't open by accident. So when you unlock, then you can access right here. So boom, we're going to go ahead and remove this film. That's what we needed to do in order to get it to work. In case you are curious what sort of batteries we're working with, I mean, these are going to be your AA batteries, but specifically from Wuben, right? We have, these are 920 milliamp batteries here. The model is the ABF920 rechargeable batteries, 3.7 volt and rechargeable lithium batteries with protection circuit board. Pretty sure these came in right negative out, so we'll put them in like that. Close up. It's a nice satisfying click. Lock up that back compartment right there. Here's your USB-C charging right here. That's pretty cool. Nice and sealed for some waterproofing. Come on now, my friend, slide in there. Thank you. There's the actual housing for the light, so that's looking pretty tight. We have a dial right here to move, and then we have our UI here, which we can, it is actually in a lock position, right? So it doesn't turn on its own in the pocket. You accidentally bump the switch or something. And then we have the two light modes there. We get you a closer look. So there's a lock and there's light facing. Okay, there we go. So there will be this light facing forward or facing you, or this front light, which is right there. I mean, this one got so many goodies going on. It is insane. So you definitely switch to where you want the light. Which light do you want to operate? You want to operate the side light, the front light, or you want to lock it to make sure it doesn't turn on accidentally. That's pretty neat. There's your lanyard hole right there. And otherwise, I mean, it's about the size of the palm of my hand. So I'm really, really digging that a lot. So let's go ahead and start here with this, side light. I'm assuming this is also the light button. Turn on the light here. There we go. All right, now we're talking. And we can dial it in. Oh, that gets brighter. And, you can, how dim do you want it? How bright do you want it? Obviously, we are going to be taking this thing outside later in the video or later tonight to test it out. So double click. We actually got the popo light right there. We can long press. If we do a long press, again, nothing happens with the long press, it seems. So one press, and then you can adjust how bright you want it or not. So that's pretty dope right there. We'll double check to see if we're missing anything in a moment. As a matter of fact, let me open up to the UI portion. And again, did I mention this one has a lot going on? Yes, it sure does. Here is the side light. All right, so side light, we can, just one time push or one time press for the light, and you can adjust the brightness, and then you can hold for the RGB. If you slide the power button forward or backwards, you get high or lower. And yeah, double tap is going to be turbo mode. So if I were to double tap right here, 1, 2, yeah, that automatically gives you turbo mode. So that is very nice on the side light. And then you can get crazy with the RGB. There's all kinds of different things you can do with the RGB, red light, beacons, and so on. So let's let me see if I do a press and hold, there we go. And then can I circle through these? Yeah, we got all kinds of lights. We got orange light, yellow, green, blue, blue light, purple light. You can see all the colors right there. Now I'm doing is turning the wheel and switching through those different colors. I can then double tap, 1, 2. So that will be the beacon, right? You can see you can do the beacon on whatever light you choose. So I'm sure it's doing the beacon on this light because that's where I left it so far in the dial. And then double tap to return, 1, 2. All right. So if I want the beacon to be red, 1, 2. So now it's doing the beacon in that red color. So that is pretty neat. All right, so let's check out the front light. So for the front light or main light mode, we got to move the switch all the way up here on the side. And then we can do a one-time press, right? Oh, that turns on all the lights. There's about 4 different lights on there. I'm sure you can get that brighter. Oh yeah, you can reduce. If you just want the one light, do you want then these 2 turn on? Or do you want all of them turned on? Right, you can adjust which ones stay on or not, or which additional lights turn on just by rotating the wheel. That's pretty neat. Then we can do a press and hold. Okay, you can cycle through, low, medium, and high by just holding. All right, we already noticed that we can switch the wheel. And the last thing is you can turbo at any time. So if I have it like that and I want to turbo, double tap, and man, that gets bright pretty quick. That gets pretty bright right away, ladies and gentlemen. That is definitely something, not gonna lie. That is, yeah, we definitely got to take this thing outside for sure. If it is locked, right, if it was locked and then we triple click the power button, 1, 2, 3, okay, it tells you that. Oh yeah, that's a way to restore factory settings. So I just restore factory settings, right, without even realizing it. So locked and triple click on the power button. So this is when the user manual comes into play. By the way, if you want to know all the parameters, how long it's going to last, etc., feel free to pause and read through here, all different modes, how long the battery life will last, etc. on there. But yeah, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons on this bad boy, kind of see where it lands. I want to put it right here next to some of the smaller Wuben size EDC lights. We have the X0, the E7, right? You'll notice those are a little bit smaller, about the same, right, width as well. Kind of stepping things up here, we have the Wuben X4, right? That one's going to be a little bit larger tactical EDC. This is the Wurkkos TD04. That's a little bit bigger, right? You can see size comparisons wise how EDC friendly this thing is. Here's the Sharvol S1, right? And these just keep getting bigger and bigger. There's the TEMU Flashlight right there. I mean, this thing is pretty insane. So all of these have their own strength and weaknesses, pros and cons, or maybe not necessarily cons, but certain features and things that might be a little bit better than others, right? Something to keep in mind there. So I just wanted to give you a ballpark, some different size flashlights. These will all be linked down below if you guys want to check them out. You absolutely can do so. But I know you guys already checked this thing out outside during nighttime, so let's go ahead and switch to that. All right, fam, we are out here with the Wuben X2. It is midnight, so let's go ahead and test to see what this thing is capable of doing. Here we go. We're gonna go ahead and use that front light or side light, if you would. And that's pretty bright right there. So you can see it can actually light up quite a bit. It's not necessarily a focus light. It's more of a floodlight. So not a spotlight, but a floodlight. Actually lights up pretty good. All right, let me try to regulate here. All right, definitely I can dim it down, and then I can bring it back up here. Just turning the wheel. There you go, double tap to get the turbo mode. All right, that's already the brightest. And then I do have these other lights, right? There's that beacon, or police mode, if you would, right? Red and blue. And there we go, there's that beacon that I can switch the colors there, right? To the different colors I want. And of course, that really doesn't give you actual enough light to light up anything. That's just more so choosing a specific color that you want, so that you can double click and make it a beacon, just a flashing light of the color of your choosing. So that's a nice feature there. All right, I'm going to switch over to the front light. All right, there we go. That is the front light at its brightest. And yeah, that's actually quite a bit. I mean, I'm doing the test right out here in my backyard by the fence, aiming at the preserve. And actually it's able to light up quite a bit, 200-300 feet in front of me, just not too bad. All right, doesn't get up until the trees way back there, but for close range, it's actually pretty good. All right, there's what it looks like there. Yeah, definitely pretty good for proximity. You can see as I kind of aim it way over there, how many feet distance it goes. I mean, it has some reach for it being the small size light that it is, that's for sure. So up at the trees there, all right, try to see if I can get some of those trees way over there. Some of the closer trees will be revealed, but not the ones way in the back. And of course I can regulate, so let me regulate here. I can make it dimmer, right? It's kind of like a moonlight, and then I can make it brighter. And a double tap would always give me the brightest. It's getting a little toasty too, so yeah, definitely putting out some light for the size of flashlight like this. You guys rate this thing in the comments on a scale from 1 through 10. How bright is it, right, for an EDC light, given the size and everything? Pretty compact. I mean, it's definitely getting the job done for what it's setting out to do for the size flashlight it is. It's not a bulky, cylindrical, huge light or anything, so it's got an interesting, good performance to size ratio, if you ask me. But you guys will let me know. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Hope you guys really enjoyed this one. If you made it to the end, you're the real MVP. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one, either this one or this one. Peace.